Siamo nel giardino di Dante Alighieri, dedicato a Dante Alighieri, una delle nostre figure più importanti dell'Italia, il sommo poeta, e che l'università ha voluto farci onore sia come Dante ma come comunità italiana, ponendo questo giardino di fronte proprio a Queen's Park nel Parlamento dell'Ontario. Ed è un grande privilegio per tutti quanti noi essere qui oggi e vedere queste 100 diciamo, mosaici che sono fatti in bronzo, fatti da un grande artista famoso canadese che ha voluto veramente dedicarsi all'opera di Dante Alighieri. Ci sono stati diversi contributori che hanno dato, che sono messi dei fondi per poter fare questo giardino. Purtroppo la Dante Alighieri di Toronto non è che si può pigliare il lusso di dire che siamo stati noi promotori. La Dante Alighieri conosce questa situazione e noi cercheremo anche noi di provvedere a mantenere questo giardino con la nostra presenza, con le nostre risorse, e cercare di fare questo posto il posto ideale, perché durante l'estate o anche giornate come queste, spendendo un'ora, 2 ore, facendoci un panino qui in questa bellissima piazzetta, secondo me ne vale la pena. Quindi io lascio la parola al nostro padre Filice, che è un vero dantista, cioè bisogna conoscere Dante per capire il suo concetto, di che contributo ha dato alla nostra Italia e al mondo intero. E quindi lascio a un esperto la parola per poterci dire questo.
Ok, grazie dell'onore che mi fate di parlare a voi di Dante Alighieri, perché il mio dottorato è un dottorato di lettere classiche e una volta venuto qui a Toronto ho frequentato per un anno e ho imparato tante cose sull'Università di Toronto, e quindi mi è stato detto che la facoltà di italiano è stata una delle prime facoltà dell'Università di Toronto, perché l'italiano assieme al latino e al greco sono considerate le civiltà, diciamo, le civiltà, anche le lingue madri o più ricche, diciamo, di tutte le altre lingue, specialmente quelle europee. Quindi parte del programma di studio e parte anche del programma di insegnamento è basato proprio su questo personaggio eccezionale che è Dante Alighieri. Voglio anche dire, per quelli che vengono dal sud, e quasi la totalità di noi vengono dal sud, che in realtà quando si apre la letteratura italiana, la storia della letteratura italiana, si trova che la prima lingua che aveva unificato almeno l'Italia meridionale, l'imperatore a quel tempo era a Palermo e si era circondato di dotti arabi, italiani, diciamo, della penisola, e quindi hanno loro costruito una lingua di Koiné per mettere assieme questi meridionali, quindi i siciliani, i calabresi, i pugliesi, i napoletani, e si è fermato lì perché poi c'era lo Stato Pontificio. Però contemporaneamente a nord dello Stato Pontificio, nella Toscana, è venuta a crearsi un'altra scuola di lingua italiana, il dolce stil nuovo. Quindi Dante Alighieri, che assieme a Petrarca e a Boccaccio sono alla base della lingua italiana, ha partecipato come giovane soprattutto a questo movimento, no? Che faceva della lingua l'elemento mediatore con la gente e così via, quindi una mentalità nuova, giovanile, dolce stil nuovo, e si parlava di amore e naturalmente è venuta fuori questa immagine di Beatrice, la quale rappresentava l'aspetto, diciamo, familiare, intimo, anche diciamo spirituale, per guidare come guida Dante. E a un certo punto, soprattutto quando fu espulso da Firenze, quindi dovette scappare. Firenze era una città guelf e ghibellini, però lui con le sue idee è stato poi qualificato come il ghibellino, diciamo, contrario. In ogni modo è stato mandato via da Firenze e nelle sue peregrinazioni per l'Italia ebbe il tempo di comporre questo che è considerato non soltanto il capolavoro della letteratura italiana, ma uno dei capolavori del mondo. E fa naturalmente riferimento al modo come i cristiani, e in questo momento i cattolici, considerano un pochino la vita. La vita incomincia qui sulla terra, si vive nel tempo e nello spazio, tutti noi abbiamo una certa età, vogliamo stare su questa terra quanto più possibile e così via, però noi sappiamo che prima o poi dobbiamo lasciare. Dove andiamo? Non lo sappiamo però per rivelazione da parte di Gesù e poi la Chiesa che ha elaborato sul suo insegnamento. E allora il tutto è questo, cioè Dio ci ha creato, Dio Padre, come diciamo nel credo, Dio Figlio ci ha salvati, lo Spirito Santo opera nella nostra mente, nel nostro cuore, nella nostra vita attraverso la sua opera che è l'amore. Allora gli elementi essenziali è l'amore di Dio e la risposta nostra. La risposta nostra, proprio perché siamo creature umane, non siamo come Dio perfetti, per definizione noi siamo imperfetti, anche se siamo buoni, tutti noi siamo buoni, caritatevoli e così via, di tanto in tanto facciamo delle cose che non sono a livello dell'aspettativa e così via. E allora cosa succede? Se quello che noi facciamo è contrario completamente al 100% all'amore di Dio, allora non abbiamo spazio per Lui quando lasciamo questa terra e quindi abbiamo l'inferno. Si va lì e si sta eternamente lì. Se invece andiamo a San Pietro, noi diciamo che San Pietro è il custode della chiave della porta del paradiso e così via, San Pietro ci chiede qual è il vostro nome. Il nome mio è così. Oh sì, è qui il nome è così. Ma sembra che ci sono delle macchie che non sono state purificate ancora. Giusto. Dice, Dio ti vuole bene e vorrebbe che tu fossi qui, però se entri, dal momento che la tua anima è come un vetro appannato, perché non ti sei purificata, entri lì e la luce di Dio, che è l'elemento essenziale, non lo puoi godere. Quindi anche se Dio ti vuole bene, io ti voglio bene, devi passare a un luogo di purificazione, quindi abbiamo il purgatorio. Le anime che sono al purgatorio sono le più infelici possibili, perché mentre siamo qui sulla terra e alcuni dicono io sono ateo, io non credo in Dio e così via, per il lavoro che ha, la posizione nella vita, la ricchezza, i divertimenti, i viaggi che possono fare così, possono trovare anche gioia, diciamo, quando sono ancora col corpo su questa terra. Però una volta che noi moriamo e il corpo si separa dall'anima, l'anima non ha altra beatitudine, gioia così, che stare con Dio. Se viene allontanata da questa calamita che l'attira e così via, si mette lì all'angolo e aspetta in pena, non perché forse ci sono delle cose particolari, fuoco come si dice all'inverno e così via, ma la separazione, non avere la possibilità di andare. Quelli che sono purificati come Sant'Antonio, San Francesco, vanno direttamente. Tutti gli altri, prima o poi, facciamo delle cose che non sono all'altezza dell'aspettativa di Dio e così via. E quindi Dante ha pensato un pochino la vita in termini anche medievali, come si pensava allora, che l'altro mondo è formato di due realtà, l'inferno dove ci vanno quelli che sono completamente lontani da Dio, hanno avuto la libertà di accettare, hanno avuto le possibilità e l'hanno rifiutata. E allora per fare questo viaggio attraverso le varie borge dell'inverno e così via, si è presa una guida ed è la sapienza umana che viene rappresentata da Virgilio, considerato il più grande dei poeti, diciamo, romani, latini e così via. Quindi Virgilio lo accompagna, gli spiega e così. Passiamo un pochino. Quando finisce l'inverno, allora si passa al purgatorio. A quel punto lì la ragione umana, no, non riesce più a darti una guida. Lui ha bisogno di un'altra guida e sceglie quella che già conosceva, aveva cantato nei sonetti del Dolce Stil Nuovo, Beatrice. Allora Beatrice, che non è semplicemente una persona con la sapienza umana, ma anche affettiva e anche spirituale, riesce a guidarlo attraverso questi gironi che ci sono nel purgatorio. Allora, una volta finito questo cammino di purificazione, le anime passano in paradiso e godono della visione di Dio assieme agli angeli e ai santi, e naturalmente Beatrice, che rappresenta un livello più alto di ragione umana, non è in grado più di guidarlo, va bene? E quindi ha avuto bisogno di altre persone. Addirittura alla fine, quando si doveva rivolgere alla Madonna e fece quel bellissimo canto, diciamo, alla Madonna, si è dovuto rivolgere a un santo già famoso della Chiesa, San Bernardo e così via. Allora questo cammino qui è un cammino di purificazione per lui, anche di esempio di quello che potrebbe essere per noi, e naturalmente ci porta ad una realtà di purificazione, una realtà di liberazione in cui noi siamo capaci, proprio per questa purezza della nostra anima ritrovata attraverso la purificazione, di godere completamente la visione di Dio, e in Dio troviamo la risposta a tutti i perché. Non soltanto questo, ma la gioia non è una gioia però come quella umana, che quando sei contento già pensi che domani non ci sarà più quella gioia. Allora anche la Chiesa ha coniato altre parole, una di queste è beatitudine, quindi i santi sono beati, benedetti il Signore Gesù ha detto. Allora sono beati, e la gioia che hanno stando con Dio, con gli angeli, i santi, la Madonna, i membri di famiglia. Ci dobbiamo ricordare che noi riavremo il nostro corpo nella risurrezione, e quindi noi siamo in grado di godere eternamente la visione di Dio. Questo è il paradiso.
Bravo.
Parla con un
Bravo.
stampato proprio, no? Io sono stato chiamato in causa e avrei dovuto guardare però...
Allora, it's indeed a pleasure, a privilege and an honor to introduce you the president of St. Michael's University, Dr. Sylvester, that is here. As I mentioned to you before, I'm a former graduate of this university, and it has been a long time since I come here, but it's always a pleasure to. Yes.
Oh, thank you, Peter. Would you like to do this? Oh,
More professional.
does that work? So many people thought Dante was ahead of his time, but apparently so is the Dante Society of Canada. I heard you were here, so I'm glad the weather's good. Did any of you come to the Dante Day that we had recently? We had a wonderful lecture at the Di Giovanni's. It was so noisy here. We had a beautiful lecture here. People were gathered with champagne and stuff, but they were fixing the street. It was so noisy. It was. We asked them to stop, and they said no. So we're very happy that you're back on a beautiful sunny day. So I don't have much to say except you've probably heard me say this before, that you're sitting at ground zero at the epicenter of Dante studies in North America, right here. As you know, that's the Italian department. The Pontifical Institute of Medieval Studies is at the end of this building, just over there on our campus. Center for Medieval Studies is just up the road, which is run, the director of the Center for Medieval Studies is a medievalist from here, from St. Michael's, Dr. James Ginther. He has 3 kids. But and then we have this wonderful collection of Dante facsimiles and literature that you're going to go see, I think. Is that correct? So we're very happy that you're here.
Could you give a little bit of...
I'm happy to
the
talk
history
about
this, how this evolved, and the sculptor, because I don't remember the name, but
Yeah.
I met him, and his feelings towards Dante.
So Tim Schmaltz is a Canadian sculptor. I can move if you like. I can go this way, any way you want. So Lisa's here as well. So Lisa is executive director of advancement here, works with our alumni, and she's a big reason we have this here. And so Tim Schmaltz is a Canadian sculptor in Kitchener, St. Jacobs, close by. He's internationally known for his historical sculpture and his scriptural sculpture. A lot of his work today happens to be less historical and more on gospel. And if you've been to St. Peter's recently, there's a St. Peter's Square. There's a giant ark, a boat with new immigrants to Canada, and that's Tim Schmaltz's. Cardinal Cherney, who's a Canadian cardinal from Montreal, Canadian-Hungarian, whose family came over after the revolution. He studied here at Regis, commissioned that on behalf of Pope Francis. And so Tim Schmaltz, a lot of his work focuses on migrants and refugees. And in this case, when the 700th anniversary of Dante's death came upon us, he had this idea that he wanted to sculpt the Commedia. And that over there is Inferno. This one is the first, right? Canto 1. And then there are 33 cantos over there. And then Purgatorio here. And then Paradiso is over there. So that's how it folds. And there's a what do you call it? A Q code there that you can go one by one. They all have numbers. They all have numbers from each, so you can associate the description with the work. And Tim's view was he wanted, hello Noel, welcome. The artist wanted to do the full-blown Divine Comedy. And this is the only one in the world, right here. This is the only one. This statue is at Cambridge University and in Florence, where Dante had worked and lived from. And each of those has 3 cantos, so one from each, in addition to number 1, at Cambridge University in England and in Florence. But this is the only complete Divine Comedy here in the world. And I told you why this is so important, because of the Center of Medieval and Dante Studies. So when Tim approached us, he said, I called it Schmaltz's Folly, but now they call it Sylvester's Folly because this was so big. And he wanted to do them individually. He wanted to do like one like this, 99 of those. And he had all kinds of different maps. I said, this is the best place to do it. It didn't look very attractive. It looked more like a graveyard with these headstones. And then we even thought about going down and doing it in a linear way. But if you've read the Divine Comedy, you know the circle is so important, the concentric circles. And so we worked with an architect and came up with this, that you're inside looking out. And I think it worked well. Now we are very grateful for our patrons. Maurizio Bellavacqua, who you must know, he's down in Harvard right now doing a program there. And I think he just got an honorary doctorate from York, right? Maurizio was one of the visionaries here, and the Galliano family helped support the artwork. But this artwork is heavy. It's all bronze, cast overseas and brought here. And so to put it not on the ground, but on a stable footing, they had to go down almost 10 feet below the frost line. So when they were digging this out and pouring all the concrete, it looked like they were building a new CN tower here with the foundations. And we're grateful for that, and the gardens, which will be refreshed in the spring, and all the trees, to the other patrons that helped make this happen. And we had an event here. If you go around, you can see all the patrons' names who helped build the actual garden, not just commission the sculptures, but the gardens. So we've been very generous, fortunate for the generosity of many, many St. Mike's grads and others who understand Dante and want to promote Dante in this community and across Canada. So this is here to stay. This isn't going anywhere because of the foresight The foundation is well, you probably know Vito. He built it, so good concrete man from Vaughan. He knew what he was doing, and his daughter was a PhD student in Italian when she was doing this, and so he took it to heart. The architect as well. The architect and the construction wanted to do this right, so we're very grateful for the work that they've done here. And it looks, originally it was planned to look over there, but Father Dan Donovan, wanted Dante to keep an eye on the government. He wanted to keep an eye on Queen's Park. So we had to orient everything that way. And I think it was the right thing to do.
He looks so mad. Did he go to Inferno?
Well, he had quite a journey, his epic journey. Virgil's sitting him out. He gets happy right about over there, right there. But remember, he lost Beatrice, right? So he was not a happy man when he entered into the dark wood. But this has been quite a gathering space. We have meetings out here, we have receptions here, and people off the street come. And when it was being built, I ride my bike to work every day to the campus, and I'd see people looking through the fence trying to figure out what this is. So I've had a number of conversations asking people, what do you think it is? And they didn't know. And then I said, well, it's the Divine Comedy, and some people didn't know who Dante was. So that was an opportunity for me as a teacher to explain to them who Dante was and why here. And I think it makes complete sense for it to be here in Toronto and here at St. Michael's. And here we're just down from the AGO, where all the politicians are over here in Purgatorio, by the way. If you want to, so there's his commentary from the 14th century is relevant today. Not much has changed, so except we don't have a great poet like Dante around anymore to make commentary on it. But
I just wanted to add that this is the idea of a few people, but the Italian community is very large, and we're counting about 1,700,000 Canadians of Italian background. And I like to see a few names associated as sponsors of this garden. So what I'm asking everybody is that when we organize some events, and we call it the Dante Alighieri, particularly doing a fundraiser to be sponsors of this great garden, that I hope that all of you will participate, and that will be, and that we can tell Dr. Sylvester, thank you so much for
Peter,
everything.
when do you do these events? In the spring, in the fall? When do
We
you
usually do them in the spring.
in the spring?
So it's one coming up in April. So I would hope that most of you will be here, and whatever we're able to raise, it will be dedicated specifically for this place.
that would be wonderful. This is, I'm a medievalist myself, a medieval historian, not of Italy, but of Northern Europe. And my staff and people, my colleagues are frustrated because I don't think like finance people do in quarters or annual. I think in 500 or 1,000 years. And I want this, like St. Michael's, to be here hundreds of years from now. So, and it's built to last, right? It's part of the landscape now.
Beautiful. Thank you very much
Thank you. Thank you.
for your great thoughtfulness about dedicating a piece of St. Michael's grounds to Dante Alighieri, and we hope that we can make you also proud.
You already have. This is beautiful. And I'm happy that you're here.
If I understood correctly, the same artist that did the immigrants at the Vatican.
Same artist.
My wife will be very happy. She will want to come here and see it. She loved that. We were there last month and 2 years ago as well, and she always looked at it.
My wife was just in Rome. I was just in Rome, but she was there for meetings. I'm on the board of the International Federation of Catholic Universities, and we met in Rome.
Okay.
But 2 weeks before that, my wife, who's a faculty member at King's University College in London, and she works on migrants and refugees, and she's part of an initiative called Our Common Home that comes out of Villanova University, where Pope Leo went to school, and the Vatican, and it's about Catholic universities and their responsibility to migrants and refugees going forward, not only historically, but going forward. And it's a 3-year plan. She's one of the researchers, but they have 200 activists, lawyers, and academics researching a plan on how Catholic universities should renew their understanding of mobility and migrants and people that are displaced. And she said it was fabulous. And at that ceremony, Tim Schmaltz came, and donated a newly carved bust of Mother Cabrini as a kind of patron saint for North American migrants. And you all know about Mother Cabrini, and there's a movie out about her now. So he continues in that vein. And many of his art pieces are focused on social justice and history. So at Regis, which is part of our Faculty of Theology, there's also Homeless Jesus, which you may have seen. That was one of his very first sculptures, was sort of raise awareness of the vulnerable in our communities, and a homeless person on a park bench with Jesus. So that's how he started. And this is his great, he will tell you, this is his greatest accomplishment. It took him many years. So thank you.
Lisa, would you like to say a few words? Hold on a second, please. Come closer if you cannot hear us. Thank you. It's very important that you hear this other message.
So I have actually a functional announcement. I wanted just to focus on the QR code that David mentioned a few moments ago. At the base of Dante, at the front there's a code. You can use your phone, and it will take you to a website. And when you go to that website, you can hear an audio reading of every canto in the Commedia. So I encourage you to do that. If you don't know how to use a QR code, go to a website called DanteSculpture.com, and you'll find it.
Thanks very much.
You're welcome.
What's the name?
Okay, so
DanteSculpture.com.
Or just take a picture like a menu.
please
We're
spend
live.
a few
Well,
minutes.
thank you very
Just
much
spend
for
a few
being here.
minutes here, and then we'll go and see a special collection, and we'll be in your hands. Or
Yes.
is David going to come with us? Or
Yeah, why don't we take 5 minutes so you can take a look at the contours, and then we'll follow the lead. We've got our theology librarian here, Noel McFerrin, who's going to give us a tour of the Dante collection at the Kelly Library.
Okay, great. All right. So just take a few minutes.
So these are all in bronze, so they'll slowly turn green. It's already starting that way.
Or they change color?
Over time, it'll go from the gray, the dark, and you'll already see the green coming in. It'll be beautiful in the sunshine. You can see it's happening down there.
So is this
Because there's some copper in it, right?
is this where you wanted to have some sponsorship of the
No, that's actually in Inferno. That's Canto 11.
right.
So Canto 11, if you had a book or you were using that, you could then you associate the picture with the reading.
Oh, I see.
So they're all numbered, and they start again in Purgatorio, and it starts again in Paradiso.
So this is Inferno, Purgatorio.
Inferno, Purgatorio, and you can see the last one, right? The last one is the revelation of Mary and the role that Mary plays in it, and that's the very last one. When the Cardinal was here, Cardinal Leo is a big Dante. He studied Dante. And I gave him a copy of the first canto. It was a small one for his desktop, and he loved it. And he recites Dante by heart. And I said, "Is this your favorite canto?" And he said, "No, he wants the one with Mary, because he has a strong family and personal devotion to the Virgin Mary." So now I have to ask Tim Schmaltz to give us another one. So.
Can I please ask you a question?
Sure.
This one here, can you give me a little bit of explanation on that one, that sculpture there?
Well, it looks like the nativity of Mary and Joseph.
Yeah, that one over
Yeah.
there though. I took the picture there.
Okay.
So-
Well, I can't, but I can find it on there. It's
Okay.
all described.
Okay.
If you
No.
go over to
I
there
will do that.
and you know how to take a picture.
Yes.
And so that's Purgatorio,
Okay, Purgatorio.
and it's at the bottom. The number's at the bottom, and it'll read out.
Okay, perfect.
the whole
We'll
piece.
do that for sure. Thank
I
you.
see each of this plate here, there is a cross.
Yes.
Each one. What does it mean to that?
I know the answer, but I don't remember. Tim told me. The artist told me.
Yeah, there gotta be some reason.
Yes. I think it's at the end of each book of the canto, but I can ask him again. It'll be in the description because he talks about it, but it's deliberate. It's not on every one. He's only signed a couple of them. We have a faculty member here, Stephen Tardif, who spoke. He gave an intellectual tour of the garden before the De Giovanni lecture. And he talked about the specific ones that Tim Schmaltz signed, the ones that meant the most to him. And there's one over there but I can't remember. But I will. I'll find out for you.
I just to figure it out now.
No, it's really good to see.
And each one.
I don't think it's on everyone though, is it?
Yeah, it is. I checked.
Allora sono due. Adesso una copia.
Glielo regalate prima dello scopo.
Noi abbiamo fatto questo per Windsor.
Io l'ho studiata.
Oh, sì.
We know there is the Divina Commedia. Maybe I want to read it. Maybe I don't need if you think you can use it at university. I gave a copy of it. Double a copy of it. They got the story. He loved that, right? Oh, no. He loved that.
She keeps talking about Italian culture.
His copy, I don't know.
I'm like, I don't know. But she teaches me
Dante is described in drawing.
Sculpture.